today. Today, I have an idea to share with you to make fast and fun Christmas cards that you can easily mass produce. So, if you're like me and you sometimes wait to the last minute, and I know during the holiday time, we may be making gifts, right? And so our crafting time gets less and less as the holidays come on. So, this is an idea if you have waited till last minute that you could easily make all the Christmas cards you need in just one evening. So let's go ahead and change the camera view and take a look at what we're going to do today. Okay, so here's the idea I had, and this is using a very specific product. And I just realized I have my overhead light on still, so the lighting is going to be a little different than normal. You might get a little bit more glare, but I will tilt them this way. So let me show you the product I used to make these. The star of the show is our sentiment strips. So the sentiment strip dies are fantastic because they give you not only the strip, but an outline at the same time. And then this is the brand new sentiment strip holiday set that just came out. So these are some really fun sayings, and they go together really nicely. They pair with our holiday icons. So we're going to look at some different ways of doing this that's really fun. I also brought in a couple dies, the Christmas word die and the Merry word die, and I use these on the insides of my cards. And then I also am bringing in the new 6x6 Christmas Eve paper. So I really like this paper for this particular style of card because of the black backgrounds. So if you notice here in my samples that I have, the sentiments really pop forward because the background goes towards the back, and that black deep background helps make that happen. So you can see how on all of these, the sentiments really pop forward. So if this was the other way around and like your background paper was the same kind of bright colors that your sentiments were, then you would have a little more issues with it being on the same plane. But because of that black paper, your paper moved towards the back and your sentiments come forward. So this is a really great paper pack to use for this style of card. So if you're there with me, I would love it if you would say hello there in the chat. And you know what? I'm going to very quickly turn off this light. It'll take me just 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that, but that'll make the lighting a little bit better here for us so that you're not getting such a bad glare the whole time. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look. So the first thing you're going to need to do is with your sentiment dies, go ahead, and I did not cut mine apart. I left them all as one big sheet. And I do this often with this kind of die. I like to keep it all together so that when I run this through, I get lots of sentiment strips at the same time. And I just kind of keep myself a little bucket where I've got lots of different pieces. And I can pull out of here for a long time to come. And eventually it'll get different colors and stuff too. But it's good I like having it all as one instead of cutting them apart. So if you're like me and you do leave it all as one, it makes it real easy to mass produce. So to make the 3 cards that I made, you'll need to cut this die out once out of green, once out of red, and twice out of white. And one of your backgrounds you're going to want to save. I saved the green one, but any would be fine. The next thing that you're going to need is some kind of sticky mat. So I have some, this one's from Brutus Monroe. Ranger makes a sticky mat. Scrapbook.com makes a sticky mat. There are lots of different companies that have sticky mats. And if you have one, go ahead and apply this piece to your sticky mat. If you don't have a sticky mat, something you can do is take your just a piece of scrap paper, and you're going to want to use some repositionable tape runner and just put your repositionable tape runner, just run it along your cardstock at a diagonal. Hopefully that's big enough. And then I'm going to go ahead and put some stripes this way as well. Now you're going to take your grid that you made and just lay it down. And hopefully you've got it where every single square has a little bit. I'll add some if I missed any. There we go. All right, so now we've made ourselves a sticky mat. And what makes these so fast and easy to mass produce is you're going to go ahead and feed in, let me find the right one here. There it is. Just the ones that we're going to use. Now, I didn't use these longest ones. They don't fit on my A2 card. So I'm going to go ahead and feed in the outlines first. And it doesn't matter which ones, which colors. You can use whichever colors you want. There we go. And now I'm going to come back and I'm going to feed in the strips. And I usually did all one color and then all the next color, but you can do it any way you want. Right now I have them kind of mixed up, and that's fine. But you're going to feed in all of the strips that you're going to use. And for this side, I already have them ready to go. Just feed these in. But this is what makes it easy to reproduce. You can mass produce these because you have this little grid set up. Now you can try to do this in like your Misty or something like that, but it's going to be hard without some kind of sticky mat. You could also use, I don't know if I said this yet or not, like a silhouette or the Cricut, how they have the sticky board, the mat that feeds through the machine. You could use one of those as your sticky mat. Or like I did, just some repositionable tape will do the trick. Okay, so now that we have our grid filled in, and I found it convenient when I was mass producing to just go ahead, feed in all of my pieces, and then do all white, all red, or all green at the same time. That made it easy. Now, if you wanted to really make this idea fast, you could just go ahead and stamp all of your sentiments in black ink or any other color ink for that matter. But if you have the time and you want to take it up a notch, you can use some embossing powder. So I have some white embossing powder here, and then I have some geranium red embossing powder from Ranger. I also used on one of my cards, I used some gold embossing powder. So really that's totally up to you. But if you do embossing powder, you're going to want to choose your sayings. So within this set, I'll go ahead and pull it out because there's so many fun sayings in here. And for my Christmas tree version of this card, I sort of stuck to Christmas songs like Ho, 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 Holly Jolly, Silent Night, Deck the Halls, Jingle All the Way, and Dashing Through the Snow. So I tried to just pick sayings that were out of songs. But really, all the sayings that fit in the different sizes moving up, you just want to go to large to small if you're creating a tree look on your card. But today, let's see here. I'm just going to use this little one. And let's see, which one did I get? This one says peace, love, and joy. And let's see here. Which one do I have here? This one? No, that's this one. Okay, we're going to put our peace, love, and joy. So we'll just stamp it right on there. And now, the reason this makes it fast and easy to reproduce. Oh, and you know what? I forgot a step. I'm going to show you. You pull that out. And now we're just going to take the next one and place it right in there. And then we can keep going. Now, before you first did it, it helps to come in with some anti-static powder. And you're going to want to just brush that on. I forgot to do that step. But even if you're on a sticky mat, if you have all the little holes covered, you're not going to ruin your mat. There we go. Kind of forgot that step. I'm sorry. So we'll do that again. We'll go ahead. Now we'll stamp this one. All right. And I'm just going to use my little tool to pick that up. I don't want to get fingerprints on it because that'll cause my embossing powder to stick. So I like to, whoops, knocked over. I like to use my reverse tweezers at this point. And I can just hold on to it like that. Now I can just go ahead and use my embossing powder. Then I can go back and do the first one. And pretty much I just did that with all of my different words. So after I get that one done, move on to the next one. And pick out your saying. And again, switch them out, stamp them, switch them out, emboss them. Now I went ahead and got my embossing powder on all of them. And then once I had about 15 or 20, then I would get out my heat gun and go ahead and emboss all of those. So when I was done with this process, I had a nice big pile of embossed words. So then it is just a matter of matching them up with the frames that you want to use to make your cards. So let's go ahead and start with this one. And I wanted to show you something really fast. So you're going to end up with a big pile of frames and words. So I found that if I matched them all up and then turned them upside down, and then I came back with a little double-sided adhesive, and I went ahead and added a little of that double-sided adhesive to the back side, to the frame and the sentiment strip, so that it held them together. So from now on, if I want to play around with them, positioning them on the different cards, I can move them all as one piece instead of having the frames separate from the sentiment strip. And I found that made it much faster to be able to reproduce these quickly. So all of your background papers need to be cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. And hold on one second. I'm just going to refresh my screen there to make sure that I can see you. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and pull out all 3. So when you're mass producing, go ahead through your paper pack and pick out all the different papers that you want to use. And before you even start, go ahead and cut them down to 4 by 5 1/4. Get your white bases and go ahead and glue them down to the card blanks. Here we go. Here's my last one. And these were just the 3 I picked, but pretty much all the papers in this entire paper pack would work for this idea. I kind of tended towards the ones with the black for the reason I told you before. I especially loved this one to do the Christmas tree idea. Now, when I got my tree all done, I thought that I wanted to have something there at the top just to finish it off. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I made my star for the top of my trees. So once you get your papers down, you're just going to build that up from the smallest, or from the largest up to the smallest. And at the top is where I added my star. So because you have that double-sided adhesive already on the back, it makes it even easier to go ahead and apply all these once you get going. There we go. But when you have that sticky double-sided adhesive on the back, you want to make sure you have it exactly where you want it when you put it down, because you won't be able to pull that back up. But see how much easier it was to place these because you're doing it all as one piece. Okay, to make my stars, I came with just a scratch piece of white paper, and I went ahead and got some yellow ink and my brush, and I just made a very unsolid. I wanted it some lights and some darks. And then I came back with the rainbow and I think it's called Lots of Rainbows. Um, and I took just a little star out of it and I cut out the star. And when that was finished, you have a little star that's got some lights and darks to it. And I really liked that look. So that is how I made my stars. So tell me there in the comments, are you finished with your Christmas cards or are you just now getting started? I actually have several made, but I always like to share some ideas of how to make some quick ones because I know once the holidays hit, it's really hard to find time to get everything done. All right, there we go. We're just going to build this up. And I went ahead, I left space between each of them. You could make a lot more, make 2 or 3 more and go ahead and put them touching one another and make your tree more solid. But you see how fast and easy they come together once you've got all your little pieces made. And you could easily, once you get your stamping and embossing done, you could easily just mass produce lots of these in one night. And now we're going to add our star. Get that centered on top. There we go. All right. Ta-da! Very fast, but what a fun card. Now, to come back and finish, we'll finish this one on after we build this tree. Let's do our 2 trees at the same time. So we'll go ahead and we're going to add this one and build this one up. And on each of them, I did something a little at the end. And I have these pieces all ready to go. And on this one, you notice that I brought in the red embossing powder to match the red dots, but with the green outline. And then on this one, I did it the other way around. I used the green insides and used the white outsides. So by cutting your die out 3 times, you're going to have lots of different combinations. And I thought it would be fun maybe to even do them kind of mixed up with the different combinations might be fun. Now, if you're making a tree, you're probably going to want to keep it green, but there were lots of different combinations I was thinking of that would be fun to try. Here we go. So I know my project today is a Christmas card, but tell me, are you all ready for Thanksgiving? I have not even decided for sure what I'm going to serve for Thanksgiving. Do you have lots of family coming in for the holiday? Or are you getting to go to someone else's house for Thanksgiving? So I guess I should qualify here in the U.S. We do celebrate Thanksgiving. You may be watching from somewhere else in the world where your holidays look a little different than ours. And if so, I'd love to have you share that with me. Go ahead and tell me what kind of holidays you'll be celebrating. Okay. Again, we're just going to layer up our tree here. All right. And I'm not going to have room for my ho, 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 but this one didn't emboss very well. I've got lots of spots on it, so that is okay with me. All right. And again, we'll just put our star right there at the top. Okay, so when I was done making my trees, I thought, okay, what does this card need to give it just a little bit of that Christmas sparkle and shine? That one more thing that's going to be my wow factor. So I decided to bring in a few little gems. And so for the tree that has the red berries in the background, I chose some little red gems. And for the tree that was all green, the white and black background, I chose just some sparkly ones. And I think I've told you before, I don't like to overthink where I put my gems. So I'm just going to put some dots of glue around. Let's see, maybe right here, right here, right here, and right here. And now I'm just going to come back with my jewel picker. This is a Whimsy product. If you don't have one of these, I highly recommend it. They do a great job to pick up your jewels. And I'm just going to randomly set these down. Yeah, tighten that up. There we go. All right, so there's my Christmas tree. I think I'm going to put one more about right here. Just a little one. There we go. Okay, so there are my Christmas trees. See how fast and easy that was? I really think this is an idea that if you needed to make like 20 cards in one night, you could get it done. So I also came back, if you have more time and you want to do some more jazzing up, I added some glassy accents and some glitter, some glossy accents and some glitter to the star there. And you can see that there on my first one. Okay, for the other Christmas tree, these are sticky backed, and that speeds it up even more. And you can add a few gems. Oops. All right, I think I want one more right over here. All right, so go ahead and decorate your tree up, and you're ready to go. All right, so after I made my two trees, I was thinking, what else could I do with this idea? And so that's when I brought out my candy cane pieces and I reached for my holiday icons. So for my holiday icons, I chose the little gingerbread couple and a piece of gingerbread cake. And rather than creating a tree, I just chose the words to go along with the vibe I wanted to create here on this card. And for this one, I more positioned them in how I wanted them to be for my little images that I had made. So if I want my images kind of just random around my card, then I wanted, and I wanted to be able to place these so that my little images touched every other one. Oh, here's my Jingle All the Way. I hadn't added that one yet to my, let's see, here it is. Need to put my adhesive back on the back. Make sure it's upside down. One more piece. Okay, there we go. So Jingle All the Way. I'm going to put this little guy. So see how having that together makes you able to kind of position them around. And then I think I'm going to do the Deck the Halls right there. All right, so now that I kind of have them where I want them, I can go ahead and put my card together. There we go. Oh, hello, Denise. How are you today? There we go. Now, after I made these three cards, my mind just kept going and I came up with several other ideas that would be fun to try in this style. And I'll grab the stamp set holiday icons And we can go over some of those and kind of just look. There we go. Okay, now on this card, I decided rather than just gluing them down, I would go ahead and pop those up. So I'm going to grab some foam tape here, and we'll just go ahead and pop those up. And I just put one big piece on the back. Like I said, on these cards, I was thinking more for the person that is uh, needing to get a lot done in one evening. So I tried to keep all the steps with that in mind. And there we go. Now, to finish this one off, I didn't add any gems, but I did come back with my glossy accents and just add some sparkle to all the little ruffles on the gingerbread and, of course, on that icing. And hopefully you can see that on there if I turn it just right. So with this particular style, I was looking at the holiday icons and the stamp set, thinking what would be some other images that I could do that was similar to this. So I thought it would be fun to do naughty or nice, ho, 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 and use the Santa Claus head. I thought it would be fun to do let it snow and you're my favorite flake and do the snowman. And then I thought winter wonderland and bring on the cozy and use the fun little Christmas sweater down here. So, and there were just lots of others. The silver bells and the magical and the silver bells with the ringing bell, the silent night with the star, and just really there were just so many. Oh, you could even use the bell down here. Just lots of fun. Deck the halls with the wreath. So fun to combine these two sets to make fast and easy Christmas cards. And like I said, you can use your piece that you cut out as a grid so that you can quickly just stamp and heat emboss several at the same time. And you can rock and roll through these and make several cards all at the same time. So I hope you like this idea. And if you're in need of creating your Christmas cards in all in one night, this may be something that will give you a template for doing that. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back. I've made all kinds of mess here today. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with me and crafting today. I know that as the holidays get going full steam, we'll have less and less time in our craft rooms. So I just wanted to bring you an idea that would maybe help you out in the coming weeks. So I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward, of course, to crafting with you again very soon. Thanks so much for being here with me. Bye bye.